Well, joining us now to discuss flood prevention for all of China in the new year is Zhang Jianyu. He's the executive director of the BRI Green Development Institute. Thank you so much for joining our program today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
As we just saw in that piece, China faced an unprecedented year of storms and flooding, particularly in the northern province of Hebei. Earlier this year, it was reported that post-flood reconstruction could take 2 years. Is that still the case, and how has recovery been going?
Well, I think recovery is going on well. I mean, Chinese government has really a big responsibility to respond to this kind of emergencies. They are well prepared. And secondly, I think the government is taking a proactive role in trying to dealing with this situation down the road, not just in the immediate future, but also in the longer plan with regard to ideas like sponge cities, and also climate adaptation, and also the eventual contribution of China to overall climate change. I think that will be eventual cue for this kind of disasters to happen.
I do want to go into those specific steps that you mentioned. Sponge cities, for instance, I do want to mention that one, just to give our viewers a little bit of perspective. In 2015, the Chinese government actually introduced a plan to build these sponge cities that can retain and reuse 70% of rainfall. Can you explain how that effort is going, how this actually works, and what are the challenges so far in trying to implement this kind of system?
Well, as you just mentioned, I mean, China's government proposed this idea of sponge cities back to 2014, and the idea is really to have 80% of the situation under control by 2030. And it used I think it's a pretty smart idea of integrating what we call the green, the blue, and also the gray. I mean, green means the afforestation, and all the vegetation approaches in the city. The blue are the wetlands, and some are natural and some are man-made. And the gray are the embankments, and certainly you need the physical installation to prevent some of this from happening. But I think the key is really the integration of all these measures together. I mean, nothing of the one of the three is new, but I think the integration and how to plan that in an organic way, that's really the key. And I think that will entail some of the modern technologies and the modern concepts to be instilled into these kind of ideas.
We've seen the role of AI technology in so many fields, and I imagine it has some benefit in managing flooding in China. Can you explain how?
Well, first, I think you need to understand the situation better. I mean, city is being planned and being built on a daily basis. You need to be able to keep you up to date of all the physical installations, the altitude, and the layout of the city. Second, you need to also monitor the mobility of where people live and where you need to put your highest attention for the emergency controls. Thirdly, I think you need to plan well because some of these things will take time. And also, as I said, integration and smart integration is really the key. So I think with more than digitization, monitoring situations, and also faster response, that can really try to plan and build all this and construct them well in the organic way. But I do want to mention that I think this all falls under the longer concern of the concept of climate adaptation, which the government has also proposed a plan to have that completed by 2035. And China is actually one of the first countries in the world that has introduced that kind of adaptation plan.
All right, Zhang Jianyu, Executive Director of BRI Green Development Institute, thank you so much for joining our program today.
My pleasure.